Ukraine triggered a food shortage in the third world. Even in Europe, prices for sunflower oil skyrocketed. Climate change is destroying crops worldwide, and many farmers are warning that we will have to face shortages in the near future. Italian farmers don't have enough water because of the high temperatures and the lack of rain. And now Pakistan has to deal with a biblical flood. The problem is that we have to deal with multiple crises all at once. We could easily handle one problem at a time. Send help to Pakistan, deal with the drought in Italy, stop the war in Ukraine. But the reality is, we have to face everything at once. And unfortunately, each crisis makes the others worse. The downward spiral we are currently in is exactly the consequence of too many fires and not enough resources allocated to handle it correctly. So, what does this have to do with food shortages? Overpopulation, a topic that I will cover in a future video, is a huge problem for all of us. Cause it ties directly into yet another problem.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. Amos 8 verses 11 to 12.
This morning, incredible rescues keeping hope alive. Miracle after miracle, a week after the devastating quakes. Here in Antakya, the destruction is endless. The entire city in ruins. Families in shock, many of them holding out hope for a miracle of their own. Rescue workers helping pull one off, saving this woman after being trapped under rubble for 175 hours. But help is not reaching fast enough in some areas. Omer Tillis's mother was dead by the time search crews reached her.
In Hatay, they're coming too late. It's 30 hours later, they're coming.
More than 30,000 are dead in Syria and Turkey. They're digging mass graves. People have nowhere to live, some crowding into shelters. Aid isn't reaching most of them, and anger is rising. Over the weekend, more than 100 developers and builders arrested, accused of shoddy and illegal construction on some of the thousands of buildings that collapsed here. In this city, on nearly every street, another search for survivors.
Someone's scratching.
It seems like someone is scratching the rocks.
Have you made contact with anyone?
No. We are still digging.
They dug and listened with specialized audio equipment for hours, but found no sign of anyone alive. It comes amid new video released from the time of the earthquake, showing incredible bravery by two nurses who rushed to protect babies in the neonatal unit. A show of love and resilience in terrifying moments.
This morning, no one knows how many are missing. At one hotel, rescuers told us they think more than 100 are buried under the rubble. The UN chief today saying that the rescue operation will soon be ending, but I can tell you searchers here are determined to save more lives. Hoda?
All right, Kelly Kobiea for us there in Turkey. Kelly, thank you.
The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Joel 2 verses 10 to 11.
Something from the sun's surface broke away and appeared to form a crown-like vortex over the solar North Pole. Further analysis will be required to determine whether or not this is what actually occurred. For now, scientists are saying that they've not quite seen anything like it, and the footage itself is undoubtedly spectacular. Solar shenanigans are not entirely unexpected currently. Our star is ramping up its activity, getting rowdier with sunspot and flare activity. It has flared every day this year so far, and it spat out several X-class and M-class flares in January 2023, the biggest and second biggest eruptions the Sun is capable of. Goes every 11 or so years, from relatively quiet and peaceful, to absolutely rambunctious. These cycles coincide with fluctuations in the solar magnetic field. When the magnetic field is at its weakest at the poles, the sun's magnetic poles switch places, and the polarity of the magnetic field reverses. This is when the sun is at its most active, known as solar maximum. We're right on the cusp of solar maximum. Because the sun is so enigmatic and difficult to predict, we don't know precisely when the polarity reversal will occur. Scientists can usually only make a ruling after the event, but we do know a rough ballpark. Our current predictions place it in July 2025. But the current cycle is also a bit strange. Not all solar cycles are built alike, some are stronger, some are weaker. Solar scientists can make predictions about the progression of the solar cycle ahead, but from very early on in the current cycle, which started in December 2019, the sun's activity has significantly exceeded expectations and continues to do so. This brings us back to the weird little polar tizzy observed on February 2nd. From what scientists can tell so far, it started with a solar prominence, a bright filament of plasma that extends outward from the surface of the sun. Not only are solar prominences normal, but so were the location and type of this particular one. A large hedgerow prominence, so named because it resembles a hedge, often occurs around the crown of the sun, at high latitudes. But what happened next was not, material seemed to break away, circling the pole at 60 degrees latitude over about 8 hours, at a speed of about 96 kilometers, 60 miles, per second. Solar physicist Scott McIntosh of the U.S. National Center for Atmospheric Research, who has been observing the sun for decades trying to understand its cycles, told Space.com that he had never seen a vortex like the one that occurred when a piece of the prominence broke away and was whipped into the solar atmosphere. We'll have to wait to find out more about the strange event. Scientists are no doubt even now analyzing the wealth of data we have from round-the-clock solar observatories, so hopefully, that wait won't be too long. Because the solar poles are difficult to observe, the findings should be very interesting.
For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light, the sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. Isaiah 13 verse 10.